The sirens began with a single chirp and almost timid warble before the full security grid caught up and erupted into a screaming cascade. Crimson hazard lights flooded the corridor, reflecting off polished alloy panels and shimmering across the translucent bodies of panicked Zyrethi students, every display holographic, wall-mounted, floating. Embedded flashed the same two words in violent red. Apex predator detected. A dozen species darted for cover, their bioluminescent skin flickering in terror. Winged Elteri folded their pinions tight and dove behind water tanks. The stone-skinned Hrothans simply froze, instinct overriding reason, their heavy forms trembling despite their mass. Even the faculty ran actual professors with centuries of combat conditioning scrambling, like prey animals before a storm, all because of one student, one human, walking casually toward his xenobiology class with a backpack slung over one shoulder. Ethan Hayes yawned as the lights strobed above him. Must be another fire drill. He kept walking. The station's integrated biosurveillance AI Argus 12, a system built on 8 galactic treaties and 10,000 years of threat. Research was metaphorically having a meltdown, its processors flooded with warnings, red-flagged instincts, and an ancient evolutionary truth it had never expected to use. If the human is calm, everything else should be terrified. GUS 12. Raren the scan. Same results. Increased heart rate from mild aerobic activity. No adrenaline spike. No fear. No tension. The human was relaxed. Which, according to 43 known predator-prey models, meant he was either unaware of the impending violence or entirely confident he could kill everything between here and the nearest star without trying. It flagged option 2 as statistically more probable. Down the corridor, a terrified Zyrethi student peeked up from behind a vending module. Her gelatinous form quivered. Please do not consume us. Classes are this way, yes? We have families. Ethan blinked. What? He didn't get an answer. She had already melted through the floor grates in a panic. He sighed. This again. Ever since joining the Galactic University, the alarms never seemed to behave around him. Something about baseline Terran biology registers as hyper-lethal compared to known fauna. Something about reflex latency incompatible with peaceful species. And apparently something about canines. Ethan didn't even own a dog. He adjusted his backpack and kept walking across the station. Dean Vaylor of the Interspecies Academic Council frantically tapped his data slate as he jogged alongside a squad of armored security drones. Status? The lid drone word. Apex threat classification. Level Omega. Primary target. Terran Ethan Hayes. Requesting permission for full lockdown. Omega. Vaylor's frills flared purple in shock. He's a first-year exchange student. He failed his last physics quiz. Threat level remains constant, the drone replied. Human failure in academics does not correlate to reduced lethality. Vaylor nearly tripped. Unfortunately, that was probably true. Argus-12 single quotes S voice boomed through every intercom on the station, deeper and more urgent than the emergency alarms. Warning, subject is approaching. Central atrium, all non-essential organisms seek immediate shelter. Vaylor rubbed his temples. He's going to be so confused. Ethan entered the atrium. The entire 100-meter hall fell silent. He noticed immediately because it was impossible. Not to cafeteria trays abandoned mid-air, hover chairs overturned. An entire cluster of crystalline Velnari students had fused themselves into a defensive pillar, shimmering with anxiety. At the center of the room, 20 armed drones formed a semicircle aimed directly at him. Ethan raised a hand weakly. Morning? Every drone blared. Do not advance, Apex entity. What? I'm just heading to class. This behavior is consistent with a humanoid stalking pattern. Initial predatory phase. Casual approach. I'm literally late for a midterm. Deception detected? Ethan groaned. He seriously considered turning around. But the xenobiology lab was only 2 more hallways away. and Professor Carew deducted attendance points with the ruthlessness of an imperial warlord. He inhaled, exhaled, and took a single step forward. Every alarm in the atrium escalated into an almost musical crescendo of panic. The drones opened their armaments paralyzing nets. Bursts, kinetic dampeners, all non-lethal but extremely inconvenient, before anyone could fire. The bulkhead doors slammed open. Dean Vaylor skidded into the room, tentacles flailing. "Stand down. Stand down. He's a student. A student." Weapons powered down. The drones reluctantly parted ways. Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Dean Vaylor. Morning. Why is everyone freaking out?" The dean tried very hard to smile in the human style. "It looked more like he was about to molt, Mr. Hayes. The station's biosurveillance AI flagged you again?" Ethan crossed his arms. "For what? Existing?" "Essentially, yes." He sighed. "What did I do this time?" "ARGUS 12 answered for the dean," its voice resonating like a doom prophecy. "Subject exhibited unscheduled locomotion. Pattern match. Predator on the prowl." "You mean walking?" "Correction, human walking." Ethan's shoulders slumped. "I was going to xenobiology class." A chorus of gasps rippled through the atrium. Professor Carew stepped forward, her serpentine lower body coiling defensively. "Human, you intended to attend an academic evaluation while maintaining emotional stoicism?" Ethan blinked. Yeah? Midterms aren't that scary." Carew recoiled. "Incredible. No wonder the alarms triggered. What kind of species remains calm during ritualized cognitive combat?" "It's just a test." "To you," she hissed, "but to us, evaluations are the ceremonial battles of intellect. Entire generations prepare for them." Ethan shrugged. "We just cram and hope for the best." A nearby crystalline Velneri whispered, "They gamble with their own future." Casually, another student muttered, "Humans fear nothing." The drones recalculated their threat estimations upward. The dean held up his tentacles. "Everyone, calm yourselves. Humans possess a unique baseline confidence. It does not necessarily indicate imminent violence." ARGUS 12 disagreed loudly. "Statistical models show humans exhibit high aggression potential during stressful events. I'm not stressed." Ethan protested, "Which is even more concerning." A silence followed, a long, terrified silence. Then, unexpectedly, Carew slid forward, her posture shifting from defensive to contemplative. "Human Ethan Hayes," she said slowly, "you remain calm during academic trials, even under the weight of potential failure?" Ethan rubbed his neck. Everyone fails sometimes. You just have to keep going." The atrium stiffened collectively, resilience in the face of potential doom. Utterly alien to them. Carew's eyes glimmered. "Fascinating, terrifying, admirable." She turned to the dean. "I propose an amendment to the biosurveillance index. Humans may trigger predatory alerts not because they intend harm, but because their cultural expectations produce psychological resilience indistinguishable from apex aggression." Ethan raised a hand. "Is that a compliment?" "It is a survival analysis," she replied. Vaylor nodded vigorously. "Agreed. ARGUS 12, downgrade human threat classification to condition yellow." ARGUS 12 protested. "Objection, humans remain the most lethal. Yellow." Vaylor repeated. The AI paused. "Condition yellow confirmed." The alarms died instantly. Students peeked from hiding places, trembling but alive. Color returned to the hall. Lights flickered back to a comfortable blue. Ethan looked around at the shaken crowd. "Sorry about the whole thing." Carew bowed slightly. "Do not apologize, human Ethan. Today you have provided the university with invaluable insight. By walking, by demonstrating that your species faces existential threats casually. It explains much." Ethan slung his backpack over one shoulder. "So I can go to class now?" The dean waved him through. "Please do, quickly, before Argus 12 reconsiders." As Ethan walked off, The students parted like a sea before him, equal parts reverence and fear glowing in their eyes. To them, the alarms had not been wrong. Humans were apex predators of circumstance, of adversity, of anything that dared stand between them and their goals. And Ethan Hayes, he was just trying to pass xenobiology.